Lil Baby and Lil Durk are both arguably some of the most prominent faces in the trap world as of the past year or so. Both guys have had a lot of success in their past few works. They've gotten a lot of really big features. They both were on a track with Drake, and they both gotten pretty popular. Arguably, Lil Baby's gotten more popular, but Lil Durk's gotten quite a lot of attention, and he's gotten quite a lot of great features, and he's been pretty popular too. So now they've come together and they have come to make a new album titled The Voice of the Heroes. And if you had told me that this album was coming out a year ago, less than a year ago or so, I probably wouldn't have really been that excited. And that's because for a while I was not a fan of either of these guys. I mean, I didn't know about Lil Durk very well. I forget where I first heard the guy, but I know for a bit I wasn't really a big fan of him. And then his uh what is it, the track, oh yeah, so the War is Won by Nas, when he was on that track, I thought he did really well. And then he was on Laugh Now Cry Later not long later, so he grew on me a lot from those two verses, and since then I've really enjoyed his work. But Lil Baby, for a very long time, I really did not like, and I still don't really like My Turn, but for a while I hated that album. I thought it was horrible, and I thought Lil Baby sucked. I thought he was one of those boring rappers out there. For a while, I was a pretty big Lil Baby hater. And then I don't know what turned it around for me, but I really think the Wants and Needs verse is the thing that really turned around for me, because that was a great verse. He'd murdered Drake on that. He had great flows, lyrics. It was just fantastic all the way through. Then he's had a couple other just fantastic features, like the two he had on DJ Khaled's album. He had one with J. Cole on Pride is the Devil, which he did great. He's done great. So also, yes, I just want to point out I got an Undone vinyl right there, Undone by The Roots. If you haven't heard the album, please do. It's incredible. I just got that vinyl. Just want to point that out real quick. So for many years, or for a while, I didn't like him until all these like new stuff has come out, and I actually think he really is one of the best feature artists of the year. So once I heard that he was doing a collab tape with Lil Durk, I had no reason to not think it would be at least fun. I also really like their track together on DJ Khaled's record. They had a track together. I really enjoyed that. So as a whole, I was excited to hear it. So I was excited to hear what these guys offered. I think they released a track prior to this earlier this week. I didn't end up listening to it. I just wanted to go in totally open-minded, totally ready to hear this. It's like 18 tracks long, almost a solid hour. So I already went into this knowing, okay, this doesn't need to be this long. And I kind of went into this knowing the rating I'd give it. But we're still going to review it. We open up with the track Voice of the Heroes, which is a pretty solid opening. I really like it. I really like the piano beat, which is very frequently used across the album. There's a very specific production style that they want to use on this album, and I like it. The hook, my favorite element of this song would probably be Lil Durk's hook. I think he had a really great hook. I think he really gave a great vocalization. I think it's very nice. Very nice opening track. 2040... Really, I think the main impression I got from this track was I really liked the flows and specifically the production. I thought the production just sounded really great, and the bass line sounded awesome, and the 808s were great. But both those guys come in with great flows. One of the things I really like about this album that I think they did really well is both of these guys have just very good flows. They're both just very, very like... They very much, I feel like, wanted to make this. I don't think this is just meant to be, oh, well, why don't we do an album together? It's more of like let's do something together. Let's make a great trap album together. And so that's definitely what it feels like, and it definitely feels like there's a lot of aggression in their voices. Hats Off is really a highlight here. It might be my favorite track. This was a really solid track. I think the flow is great. I think it's really well done. I think my favorite element is be the Travis verse. I think he did so well with that. His flow was untouchable, great. Really enjoyed this track. I think it was really a highlight here. Travis works very well with these two. Who I Want is good. I don't really have much to say on this track. I like it. It's fun. It has a solid beat. It's good. I think I'd say the same about Still Hood. London has a great beat on here. It's solid. It's fun. There are a couple of times where I'll say that in this review, all I'll say is it's a fun track, because there's a lot of tracks in here that really I don't have much to say on. They're just pretty fun. Man of My Word, I would say, is quite a highlight, though. I really liked this track. I think it has just a great flow, a great beat, a great rhythm. I think it sounds really good. It has some of the most production depth of any track. This might be one of my favorites up there. Still Running is really solid and fun. I think Meek is a great rapper. That's not the most popular opinion, but people rarely ever praise Meek. I think he always kills his verses, and I think he killed this when he has a really aggressive, good flow, and Lil Baby and Lil Durk come to match that. It's a really fun, fast-paced track. I quite like it. Medical is good. The beats are good, or the beat's good, the verse is good. Don't have much to say on this one. Or How It Feels is definitely a highlight. If Hats Off isn't my favorite, this would probably be my favorite. This is just, it's mostly just because I think both these guys flowed so well over this beat. This beat is so well put together and they just flow so nicely over it. It's just a really solid track. I don't have a ton to say on it, but I think this is really great shit. This review might be pretty quick because I do not have a ton to say about a lot of these tracks. Lying is nice. It's fun. I don't have much to say on this one. Or okay, really. Both these tracks were kind of interchangeable for me. I liked them. That's Facts was definitely more banger centered, and I like that. A lot of these tracks in this are kind of centered on being a more emotional, inspiring track. This track feels very just kind of fun, like flexing. I like it. I think both these guys they're fun trap artists, so I like to hear them do that. It's fun for what it is. Please, I really like this track. I think this is a little bit more of an emotional one for both of them. The beat's a little more touching, and I feel like both of them really wanted to get a little more deep in this track. It's really nice, really put together. I like it. Up the Slide is fun, but it really does, for me, just sound like something that come off of Slime Language 2, which is essentially young thug trap music that doesn't really, there's nothing really that, but it's, okay, let me describe it like this. It's young thug trap music that doesn't really, do anything. It's just fun. It really sounds like something that would be on Slime Language 2, which you can watch my review for. Spoiler, I wasn't much of a fan of it. If You Want To was fun. I liked that one. Rich Off Pain is fun, but I think I like it. But I think I feel like this was one of the only tracks that I really feel like drifted off from being emotional into more being kind of corny. I like it. It's good. But it's just, I don't know. I don't love Rod Wave as a vocalist, and I think he kind of makes it a little more just hard to take seriously. It's nice. I like it, but definitely, I don't know if this is really a highlight for me. It's okay, but not really up there for me. Make It Out is nice. I don't know what to say on this one. The flow's good, the beat's good. Bruised Up is a great conclusion. I think this is a highlight on the album. I did not expect I'd get through this track list in this quick of time, but truly, I don't have a ton to say about this album. Bruised Up is a great conclusion. The beat is really solid. There's a ton of emotion put into it. It's lovable. It's nice. As a whole, I really like that as a conclusion. It might actually be, that also appears one of my favorites. Truly, I know this is a pretty quick review. Usually I take a lot longer with these, and especially with albums that are an hour and 18 tracks long, you'd think I would go really in depth. But truly, I don't have a ton to say about this album. I really liked it, though. I think I liked that they both kind of went, I like how they kind of have this sound going here about being more piano and inspirational. I liked that. I think what really would have made this, though, like a great trap album, what's preventing this from being a great trap album rather than just a good trap album is just, I really feel like it's the length. I think there's just, and I also think that I feel like this could have been cut down to like 14 to 13 tracks, and you could have put more into those 14 to 13 tracks. But because a lot of the tracks off this 18 track list, I don't find memorable, and I don't really get much of an impression off of other than fun trap song. It's not like Slime Language 2, where it's like so stacked and long and just overbearing and overdone and just too much to the point where it's physically just an unenjoyable album. This is enjoyable. I could listen to it again, but I'd much rather this be 40 to 45 minutes rather than the hour runtime it is, because truly speaking, they don't need to keep all this in. I would have been totally okay with dropping this around 14, 13 tracks and then dropping a deluxe that gets it back up to 18 tracks. That would have been okay to me. But instead, we're kind of. There's a couple points on this album where I felt like I was listening to the track. It was fun, it was nice, everything was working, but I just really felt like I wanted it to go faster. But one thing I will say, though, about this album is, while I don't love it, it really leaves me with a good taste. Like, it's not something I'm going to revisit a ton. I don't think there's really a track off of this I'll find myself, replaying a ton. But I think it really gives me a good taste for where both of these men are going. Because I think, I almost feel like this is like, if this is something kind of preluding to something, then I'm excited for what that something is. I think this album really earned respect from Lil Baby for me, and I think that it earned my respect in the same way like The Bigger Picture earned my respect. Because for me, one of my big issues with My Turn is it's just really lousy bangers for 20, and I still believe that it's 20 tracks long, an hour length. most of that is totally useless for me. But Bigger Picture for me really put me back because it really showed me that there's a very personal side to Lil Baby, and I think he's really getting more into that, and I really like that. I think that would be really, I think that'd be really healthy and like good for the trap world to have a trap artist coming in, and also throw a little Durk in there, who are kind of putting more of a message out rather than just I do drugs, I smoke weed. Because I find that fun. I like trap music for that. But I would love to hear somebody bringing more emotional, real issues to the table that other guys like, honestly, Young Thug, Future, Travis Scott probably are never going to bring to the table. They might occasionally, but that's not what their themes are. I love hearing these guys talk about issues like poverty, racism, because that's so rarely talked about in trap music and should be talked about a lot more. I just really liked it for that. I liked also just a kind of different sound. It has a little bit more of an inspirational sound, and I quite liked that. And while I don't love the project as a whole, I think it left me with a very good taste in my mouth because it makes me very, very, very excited for the next Lil Baby record, and I'm really interested to hear what he's going to go off of that one next, and the next Lil Durk record. I'm really excited to hear where both these guys go. I think they're both... It's really, I think the way I'd say them is they're not just solid trap artists. Like, I'd say that about Roddy Ricch. I really like Roddy, but he's just a solid trap artist. Lil Baby and Lil Durk, I think, are special trap artists. I think there's something to them, and I think they're going to do great things for the trap genre in the next couple of years. I'm excited to hear both these guys bring. I really hope Lil Baby drops a new record by the end of the year. What I'm rating this one, you could probably predict it. I'm feeling a good B+ here. It's probably one of the best B+ of the year. Because I think this, I have a respect for this album above some of those other albums. But as a whole, it still doesn't really reach that tier mark where I'd say it's great. I'd say it's good. Should you give it a listen? I'd say yeah. I enjoyed it enough for the extent where I would say it's worth a listen. But it definitely leaves me excited to hear what both these guys are going to do next. What do you guys think of Voice of the Heroes? I am so confused on what I'll be doing next weekend because here are the following we got. We got most of these I think I'm going to review. I'm going to do a review of Culture 3, Hall of Fame. I might review Life of Pierre 5. I'll probably review that new Maroon 5 record. And I probably won't, but there's a possibility I'll review that new DC album. But that's 5 albums, 5 reviews. I don't usually go there. But I can confirm I'll be reviewing Migos, Polo, and most likely Maroon 5. But the other ones, I don't know about. I'm very excited to hear what Migos is cooking up. I am so happy that this trio is back. And as long as this isn't 24 tracks, 2 hours long, I'll be excited for it. And as long as they just do well, they kind of do what they did on Straighten, I'm all down for it. I truly cannot care less about that Polo G record, though. It looks like trash, honestly. I don't think it's going to be any good. But who knows? Maybe it'll surprise me. The singles he's dropped were just disgustingly mediocre. Like, all 4 he's dropped, Epidemic, is a Give No Fuck, I think, Rap Star, and Gang Gang, all 4 really just kind of skipped for me. So we'll see, though, what Polo's cooking up. I like The Go, and I like Dial Legend, so I hopefully will like this, but I don't think I will. Life of Pierre 5, I haven't heard Life of Pierre 4, but I don't like Pierre at all. I don't like him as a producer, let alone I probably won't like him as a rapper. So really the only album next week I'm actually truly I think will be good is Culture 3. Everything else I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. What do you guys think on Voice of the Heroes? And what are you guys excited for in June? Vince Staples singles the weekend after. I'll probably react to that. See you guys next time. Bye.